give and take. This is something that a lot of new investors struggle with, but it's really not all that difficult. I think the main thing is just being honest and realistic with yourself. And again, just kind of looking and analysing these deals as if you were going to buy them yourself. You have to look at kind of every aspect of a done up value, how you even come to that conclusion, and things to think about when you're analysing these deals. What has yours got that the other one hasn't? And what is the one that you're comparing it to got that yours hasn't? Can you add it? Can you not? So I'm just going to run through a few different things that you really need to take into consideration when you're analysing these deals, and when you can't find a very, very similar or the same comparable, what to do, what to give, what to take, and kind of different sections of what amounts you need to go for when you're actually kind of going through this process of analysing the deals. So we'll start with the garden. So, again, pretty simple, straightforward. Again, I do believe it's just about being honest and realistic with yourself, but, has yours got a garden? Has the other one not? What type of garden is it? How big is it? Is it a front garden, back garden, side garden? Again, if yours has a small garden and the other one has a large garden, you might want to kind of take 10k off what the done up value is. Is there a front garden? Does the one you're comparing doesn't and yours does? You might want to give 5 or 10k. Again, it's quite price irrelevant to that done up value as well. If you're looking at higher end properties, then you need to give and take a little bit more than when you're dealing at lower end. Usually the price doesn't fluctuate all that much. Maybe it's like 10-15k is a maximum. Reception rooms, sometimes you go into a property, it's got its own lounge and then it's got a separate diner and then you've got the kitchen. Other times you've just got the lounge, then you've got the kitchen. Again, you kind of need to kind of differ like 10-15k, because that is going to be quite a marginal meter square issue that you're going to face there as well. So again, if something's got 2 reception rooms that you're comparing it to and yours hasn't, I probably wouldn't want to use that as a comparable. But on the flip side of that, if yours has 2 reception rooms and the one you're comparing to doesn't, it is going to be significantly smaller. So again, I would probably look to go past what that value is. So if this one's in a good kind of level and condition, I would look to kind of beat that price if that's the ceiling price. If this one's bigger and it's got an extra reception room, then I would look to add an extra kind of 10k onto that value of that. And again, if it's a higher end property, then I'd probably go as far as say an extra 15 or 20k or so. But again, if we're just dealing like kind of low to mid-range level properties, I'd typically just add maybe 10k or so. But again, don't be too silly with it. If you're buying in areas like the northeast, this is quite a common thing. Bathrooms downstairs behind the kitchen. Where is the bathroom? If you've got a 3-bed and you're also comparing it to another 3-bed, look where the bathrooms are. If you've got a 3-bed with a bathroom upstairs and you're comparing it to a 3-bed with the bathroom downstairs, again, I would add value on that. Maybe it's 5k or so. And if you're looking at one with a 3-bedroom with a bathroom downstairs, it is likely that property perhaps was an actual 2-bed at one point and they just moved the bathroom downstairs to get the 3-bed. Again, this is going to make quite a sizable comparison in terms of your size of the property as well, because you're going to find a bigger footprint of a 3-bed with a bathroom upstairs instead of like a 3-bedroom with a bathroom downstairs. So again, you will find a bigger footprint, but again, just give and take and think about it. I would say it's probably not worth moving a bathroom and sacrificing a bedroom. So if you've got the bathroom downstairs, especially if you're in a common place with that kind of layout, then I wouldn't worry too much about it, because it is quite a known thing here. But again, if you're looking at more kind of upmarket properties, you don't really want a bathroom downstairs, in all honesty. So if you're looking at these 3-bedroom semi-detached houses, ideally you do want the bathroom upstairs as a kind of minimum. But if you're looking at lower end, like mid-terrace properties, so on and so forth, especially kind of Victorian houses, it is quite popular to have the bathroom downstairs. But again, not a major concern if it's the common thing there. But if it's not the common thing, then you need to give some give and take on the bathroom location and how many bedrooms it is, so forth. While we're on bathrooms and bedrooms, if you're comparing a 2-bed to a 3-bed, again, you need to look, has this 3-bed, was it originally a 2-bed and has it been made into a 3-bed? And can your 2-bed go into a 3-bed without sacrificing too much bedroom space? I've just completed on a refurbishment recently where I could have made it into a 3-bedroom, but I chose to keep it as a 2, and the reason being was I was going to end up with 3 quite small bedrooms instead of 2 good sized bedrooms. So it's something you also need to really think about and consider. Just to go back with the bedroom, if you're a 2-bed and you're comparing it to a 3, you kind of want to add maybe an extra 10k onto the value. If you're doing lower end, again, if you're higher end, maybe it's 15, 20, and vice versa. If you have a 3-bed, you're comparing it to a 2, again, give yourself 10, 15k depending on the budget of the house, the price of the house. But again, don't be too silly with it. Ideally, you are looking to deal with the same bedroom, but it's really important that, one, you look for the bedroom split and see if the comparable that you're comparing it to, if it's bigger and has more bedrooms, have the bedrooms being split as well, and it might be something you might want to consider. But again, don't give yourself 3 or 4 really small bedrooms. You at least want a good sized master, and maybe it's a little bit of a smaller second bedroom. And then the third, a lot of people do anticipate a small 3-bed, but don't give yourself, 3, 4 really small bedrooms just to get more bedrooms in. It's, you have got to think about size and actual living experience in these properties as well. Now, size, again, we touched on this briefly. You can go onto the EPC checker. So you can go online, you can check the square meterage of the one you're buying versus the one you're comparing it to. If it's 10, 15 square meters bigger, that is, that's almost a bedroom. So, you've got to kind of give and take for size as well. Has it got a bigger kitchen? Is the bathroom bigger? What's bigger about it? Is there anything I can do to get to this level? Or is the one that I'm actually looking at better and bigger than the one that I'm comparing it to? Again, give and take on kind of size. What is that extra space worth? Is there any comparables to suggest what that space is worth? Usually, again, that 10, 15k mark tends to be a pretty sweet spot for comparables. Again, I'm not saying, add 10, 15k for every single one of these measurements or metrics. Just be sensible, be reasonable, be realistic. If it was you buying it, what would you think? What would you pay for it? If it was honestly you buying this house? That's the thing that I think of. If I'm buying this house, what am I happy with? What am I not happy with? What would I be happy paying it for? So yeah, another thing that we do come across a lot as well is parking. Do you have off-street parking? Do you have a driveway? Don't you have a driveway? Again, this is another metric where you kind of need to give and take. Although we are looking for solid, consistent comparables, I do understand that it's not always possible. So these give and take metrics are things that you really need to think about and analyze when you're looking at these deals, just to make sure that you're not comparing a 2-bed to a 3-bed and hoping that you're going to get the same kind of money. I mean, that said, if you're buying a 2-bed, that's going to be really nice, and you've got a 3-bed that's sold considerably higher and it's not in very good condition, then yeah, I suppose you can warrant that a bit. But again, a lot of this comparables and finding different values is genuinely just being honest and realistic with yourself. And I don't like to say stupid, but as long as you're not stupid with the comparisons and comparables, you'll pretty much be on to a winner on gaining an accurate donut value. So I hope this one helps. I will see you on the next one.